In the last episode, we saw Kunigami return to the field, while all the Blue Lock players joined different clubs. Isagi finally came face-to-face with Kaiser, but despite his efforts, he was once again ranked the lowest because of Kaiser, who stopped his ball at the last moment in training session. Now, as episode 2 begins, Isagi pushes himself even harder, training relentlessly to prove his worth. He's pushing himself harder than ever, trying to enhance his abilities. As he trains, we see the ranking board. Isagi's rank is steadily rising. Isagi thinks to himself, "There are only 10 days left until the first match. Every day we follow Noel Noa's designated training regimen, and with each passing day the rankings shift. We swing between hope and fear, all fighting to break into the top 11. He reflects further. "I've managed to climb the rankings a bit, but unless I make it into the top 11, I won't get a chance to play in the matches." Meanwhile, the training ground is buzzing with energy. All the players are fiercely focused, trying to improve their stats. Kaiser, too, is performing exceptionally well. Isagi continues his thoughts. "I've got no choice but to earn high scores during training. I have to keep up with Kaiser, so I can take down both him and the powerhouse bastard München team." The scene then shifts to Isagi's room. Yukimiya is there, looking a bit concerned. "Sae Kunigami still hasn't told us anything," Yukimiya says. "I want to ask him about the wildcard thing," Isagi replies, his voice laced with curiosity and determination. One of the players remarks, "Kunigami's physical abilities have skyrocketed, huh?" The scene shifts to Corona, who's scrolling through a digital screen showing detailed stats. "Want to check out Kunigami's data?" Corona asks. "Sure, thanks," Isagi replies. Corona continues, "We can view data on all the participating players. It gives a detailed visual breakdown of the Blue Lock rankings. You can use the numbers as clues for self-analysis." We then see a sleek digital tab open up, displaying data for every player. Isagi first pulls up his own stats. Speed, defense, and shooting are ranked B, passing and dribbling are ranked C, and offense is ranked A with total score of 76. Isagi stares at the screen, analyzing his performance. A cumulative score of B. "My kinetic vision and direct play stats are solid, but my power and long pass abilities are weak. From the beginning, I wasn't the type of player who got this far through raw physical prowess. So seeing those low scores isn't really a surprise." He thinks deeper. "So, what do I need to boost my stats?" Suddenly, a look of determination flashes across his face. Without a word, Isagi stands up and heads toward the door. "Where are you going?" Corona asks. Isagi puts in his earphones, eyes burning with focus. "I'm gonna go see the master," he says, stepping out with purpose. Scene shift to Germany's wingmaster striker's Noel Noa's room. The atmosphere is silent, serious. Inside, we see Noel Noa seated in his chair, reviewing data streams on various players' performances. His expression is calm, calculating. Suddenly, the door opens. Isagi walks in, eyes focused, determined. Noa notices him, puts in his earphone, and speaks without turning. "What is it?" Without wasting a second, Isagi walks straight up and says, "What should I do to increase my ranking?" Noa swivels his chair slightly toward him. "Are you dissatisfied with the training?" Isagi shakes his head. I just want to win against Kaiser." Now, fully turning to face him, Noa says, "I see, Yoichi Isagi. Then tell me, what's your weapon?" Without hesitation, Isagi replies, "My direct shots." "And what do you require to use that weapon?" Isagi pauses, thinking. "I need to break through defenders and move freely inside the penalty area." Noa leans in, questions piling like a drill sergeant. "What kind of play is necessary for that?" Isagi answers, "A wide view of the entire pitch, and the concentration and mental endurance to spend 90 minutes identifying openings in the enemy's defense and relentlessly exploiting them." Noa presses further, rapid fire. "And what abilities are needed to do that?" Isagi is thrown off. He pauses. The confidence on his face wavers. He can't answer immediately. Noa narrows his eyes. "What's wrong? Can't even verbalize your own identity?" Isagi grits his teeth. "No, I can. What I need right now is a fundamental ability to vary my play enough to adapt to any opponent." A moment of silence. Then Noa drops the hammer. "So, hypothetically, if you had all of that, could you beat me?" Isagi freezes. Noel Noa, the world's best striker. His mind races. "Could I really? I don't know," he says quietly. "But I'm going to." Before Isagi can finish his sentence, Noel Noa cuts in sharply. "Revise your thinking. I just cracked your logic." Isagi freezes as Noa continues, his voice steady, firm, and absolute. Don't allow any uncertain components in your plan. Realize an ideal that you can clearly verbalize and fully explain. Isagi stands still, absorbing every word. Saying "I don't know" means you're letting unrealistic conjecture create noise in your thoughts. That's an irrational mental block, and I will never choose someone like that for my starting lineup. Isagi clenches his fists. His mind spirals in confusion. What is it that I lack right now? Noa narrows his eyes. Didn't I tell you to revise your thought process, Yoichi Isagi? Then, with a piercing gaze, he asks, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Isagi blinks, completely thrown off. Huh? Noa doesn't stop. The first step is a step towards becoming the best in the world. Every minute, every second, every single day of the year. Are you truly spending all of your time chasing that ideal? His words echo in the room, calm yet overwhelming. This is my philosophy. Blue Lock is the place that will create the best striker in the world, right? He takes one step closer and declares, then bring me logic that can defeat me. With that, Noa turns away, his final words hanging heavy in the air. Isagi stands frozen, his heart pounding. The weight of Noa's words crashes down on him, and in that moment, Yoichi Isagi realizes how far he still has to go. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. Blue Lock Season 3 anime version isn't dropping anytime soon, but I'll be uploading new episodes if I get a good response. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I'd really appreciate that. 10 days have passed. The stadium roars with anticipation. The Neo Egoist League is about to begin. Match 1. Germany's Bastard München versus Spain's FC Barça. But something unexpected happens. Isagi isn't in the starting 11. In fact, none of the Blue Lock players are, except one, Kunigami. From the bench, Gagamaru mutters, so no one managed to break into the top team during training, except Kunigami. Isagi sits beside him, eyes locked on the field. No one knows what kind of value I gained in those 10 days, but I won't waste this time, not even on the bench. Suddenly, the commentary begins. And now, presenting the starting lineup for Spain's FC Barça. The camera pans across the field, and leading the formation is none other than Maguru Bachira. He steps forward with a confident smirk and declares to the world, the new Bachira is here. Isagi's eyes widen. Bachira? You're the striker for Spain. Standing beside him is another shocker, Otoya Okawa, flanking Bachira like a weapon ready to strike. Every Blue Lock player on the bench is stunned. Isagi clenches his fists, heart racing. Bachira, I swear I'm going to stand on that same stage. I'll meet you head-on in this Neo Egoist League, as equals. As players take their positions on the field, Otoya turns to Bachira. Isagi's on the bench, he says casually. Bachira, tightening his boots, looks toward the sidelines where Isagi sits. A playful grin curves on his lips. I'm going on ahead. Egotist, he mutters, loud enough for Isagi to hear. Isagi's eyes narrow, watching him intently. In these 10 days of training, I couldn't make it into the starting 11. I couldn't surpass Kaiser. The only one from Blue Lock chosen was Kunigami. He clawed his way up through the wild card round. Frustration brews inside him, but his focus sharpens. I want to stand on that field. I want to fight alongside them. Each minute, each second. I won't waste this frustration. I'll burn every player, ally or enemy, into my brain. I'll find their weaknesses. I'll find the path forward with these eyes. Commentary kicks in. Here are the official rules for the Neo Egoist League. A win earns 3 points. Substitutions can be made freely. Players may be swapped out any number of times. And using the star chain system, each team's master striker may enter the field for up to 3 minutes. The masters will also serve as team scorers. Now let's begin match 1. Germany's Bastard München versus Spain's FC Barça. Kickoff. The game begins. Kaiser immediately launches the ball toward Ness. Ness receives it flawlessly, and without a moment of hesitation returns it in Kaiser's direction with a swift vertical backspin pass. Isagi leans forward, eyes locked. What a clean vertical backspin pass, done without hesitation. It cut through the defense straight toward the left side. A perfect pass that doesn't slow down the receiver at all. But before it reaches Kaiser, Grimm intercepts it. He grins like a madman, eyes blazing with wild energy. As the vanguard, my destined role is to die. How amusing. This is getting absolutely wild. Gagamaru, Grimm, Eric, and now a near-goal setup. Here's a refined, high-energy version of your scene with clean grammar, fluid flow, and the hype of a real Blue Lock chapter. Grim receives the ball and wastes no time. He dashes forward, surging between two players with ease. His movements are brutal and raw, yet effective. From the bench, Isagi watches closely, eyes sharp. He's not dodging them, he's crashing through them, charging along the shortest path like a beast on the sideline. It's pure power and physicality. He dribbles like a tank. Grim plows forward, knocking defenders off balance. His eyes burn with chaotic energy as he yells, "I'm the debris that got cut off during a rocket launch. This is life!" With that, he launches a pass, aggressive, wild, and powerful. Isagi narrows his eyes. A cross pass from that kind of stance, but the goal box still has a numerical disadvantage, so he's aiming beyond the cluster. It's a long pass. The ball arcs beautifully over the chaos and lands at the feet of Arik. He traps it effortlessly. What a sloppy pass, he mutters with a grin. Nobody else could have caught that one, octopus head. Isagi's jaw tightens. He's good. That crab was dead on. Despite his wild appearance, his ball control is precise. From there, he's going to charge right into the cluster. Arik advances, his body weaving through defenders. His control is art, subtle, exact. He's threading a needle with a seed of light, Isagi thinks, mesmerized. This is true delicate dribbling. He slips through tight spaces, leaving defenders chasing shadows. Now deep in the box, Arik faces down the last line of defense, but he doesn't hesitate. He smirks and drives straight in, drawing every defender toward him like a gravitational force. Isagi's eyes widen. He drew in the defense and launched a perfectly timed long pass toward Kunigami. Gasps ripple through the stadium as everyone watches the ball fly. Clean, precise, fast. Kunigami traps it effortlessly with his chest. He didn't even hesitate, Isagi notes. A flawless chest trap, even though Kaiser was completely unmarked. All eyes flick to Kaiser, waiting, ready, but the ball never comes. Isagi watches, stunned. The Kunigami I knew. He never would have ignored a free teammate. He wouldn't have made such an egotistical call. But this wasn't the old Kunigami. This is someone new. Kunigami breaks forward, powerful and fearless, but something's different. He's not using his iconic left foot. Instead, he plants hard and launches a full-power middle-range shot with his right foot. The ball tears through the air, heading straight for the top corner. But at the very last second, the goalkeeper dives and manages to punch it away. A collective gasp. Isagi clenches his fist. He's evolved. All his physical stats have skyrocketed. He can shoot from anywhere with either foot. He's not a specialist anymore. He's a perfect striker with no weak points. This is the new Rensuke Kunigami, the man who survived the wild card. Scene shift, post-attack, the ball returns to Spain. The keeper rolls the ball out and FC Barca regains possession. On the German side, Kaiser isn't happy. He glances sideways at Kunigami, frustration in his eyes. After the missed shot, Ness walks up to Kunigami, clearly irritated. "What was your plan for that play?" he demands. "You were fast to Kaiser. That would have been a guaranteed goal. I know you saw it too." He narrows his eyes. That kind of selfish move doesn't fly on this team. Instead, you pulled off an utterly irrational shot in a dark solo play. Before he can finish, Kunigami cuts him off, voice cold and sharp. "I don't give a shit, you flunky." Ness freezes, caught off guard. "I'm putting my martial mind to work. Don't suck up to the wrong guy. You parasite." The words hit like a punch. Ness is stunned, eyes wide. A tense silence fills the air as he reaches out, grabbing Kunigami by the shoulder. "Oh dear, that won't do," he says, his voice tense but forcedly polite. "Kunigami-san, here's your first yellow card, for disloyalty to Kaiser-sama." Kunigami shrugs his hand off with pure contempt, not even sparing him a glance. Scene shift. The field. FC Barca's counterattack. Meanwhile, the ball finds its way to Bachira. The moment he touches it, the atmosphere changes. A wild, surreal aura explodes around him. His eyes shimmer with mischief. He grins. It's Bachira's showtime. The monster has awakened. He whispers to himself with excitement, "Okay, Bachira, show me the progress you've made." Then, with a twirl of his foot, the dance begins. Bachira takes the ball and charges straight at the defenders. He's light on his feet, eyes locked, grinning wildly. On the bench, Isagi watches him closely. "All right, Bachira, you made it into Spain's starting lineup in just 10 days. Show me the progress you've made." On the other end, Bachira's smile widens as he murmurs to himself, "Now then, how shall I dance through this game?" Then we move to flashback of 10 days ago FC Barca training grounds. All the Blue Lock players assigned to Spain's team stand in a neat line, waiting. Whispers buzz among them. He's finally here. The coach of Spain's FC Barça. Anticipation turns into stunned silence as the coach walks in. Laid back, hands in pockets, casual smile on his face. It's Lavinho. The room is dead quiet. Everyone expected a serious, intense professional. But Lavinho just chuckles and says, "I ain't teaching you shit about soccer." Stunned silence. Players look at each other, confused. He's gotta be joking, right? What kind of coach says that? But while the others freeze in shock, Bachira is already vibing, leaning against a wall, grinning. Lavinho smirks, eyes scanning the room. This place is supposed to create the world's best striker, yeah? Well, I am the world's best. So why would I give you losers any hints? The players are shook. Is this guy even serious? He's worse than we thought. Bachira snickers. But isn't Noel Noa considered the best right now? The room goes dead silent. Lavinho suddenly turns, a vein popping. He walks straight up to Bachira, face to face, smirk replaced by a scowl. You looking for a fight, little guy? Bachira shrugs innocently. That's just what they said on TV. A few players try to intervene. Hey, cut it out! Don't poke the bear, Bachira. But Lavinho leans in and says with burning pride, "Listen up, kid. I don't care what the world says. I've got my own world's best inside me." Bachira stares, wide-eyed, stunned by Lavinho's intensity. But Lavinho isn't done. "I've got my own world's best inside me," he says, voice sharp but full of pride. "And it doesn't belong to anyone else. It's my own visualization." He steps onto the pitch, flicks a ball into the air with effortless grace, and begins to juggle it like it's part of his body. "If you want to be the best in the world," Lavinho says with a grin, "then stop listening to what everyone else says." The players watch as Lavinho sings along with the ball, his voice playful, his movement mesmerizing. "In Brazil, my home, we have a word for this. Ginga." He sways side to side, his upper body dancing in rhythm, his feet brushing the ball like wind over water. It means to sway, to move freely. It comes from capoeira, a mix of martial arts and music. Your upper body swings relaxed and expressive, while your feet stay in tune with the ball. The rhythm in his movement is almost musical. Players watch in awe. The Brazilian stars I grew up watching, they all had this rhythm rooted deep in their play. At first, it's okay to copy them. I did. He winks at Bachira. Then, you start mixing things in, your own flavor, your own flair. You start shaping your own image of what the world's best looks like. That's where your originality begins. Suddenly, a stunning visual fills the air. A glowing butterfly of light flutters behind Lavinho as he spins with the ball, executing perfect stepovers and flicks. "This is my visualization," he declares. "A butterfly. The field is my stage. I just dance out my idea of the world's best, and the fans, they go nuts. They scream my name." He flicks the ball behind him, does a spin, and lands it perfectly under his soul. "That's how I became a star," he finishes with a smirk. Simple, right? The players are speechless. Lavinho looks back at them, shrugging as he keeps juggling. "Soccer is just an improv session. You steal good rhythm from each other. That's all it is." Bachira is watching Lavinho's mesmerizing display until something snaps inside him. Motivated by Lavinho's rhythm, speed, and aura, he suddenly jumps in and snatches the ball mid-dribble. Everyone is shocked. "Whoa, Bachira!" one player exclaims. Otoya lets out a laugh, cheering, "Let's go, Bachira!" Even Lavinho pauses, stunned, but only for a second, before grinning wide. He's got it. He watches Bachira dance with the ball, now moving with his own flow. "You've got your own unique image, highlights," Lavinho says, eyes glowing. "The only one who can show the world that image is you. Never forget your right to originality." Lavinho's expression turns serious. This cutting-edge training is here to support that. Scene shift to Bachira training room. Bachira stares at the holographic display of his own body movement in training, replay footage looping in front of him. "I move like that?" he mutters, surprised. "That's surprisingly different from how I imagined it." He clenches his fists, thinking, "Maybe I'll try copying Lavinho's movements. Then I'll mix it with my own visualization of what makes the world's best." We then see Bachira training relentlessly, pushing his limits with both body and mind. He sprints, he dances, he fights through exhaustion, sweat flying, eyes filled with passion. "I want the body and the power of imagination to pull that off," he says, teeth gritted, determination burning. He trains with every ounce of energy he has. Physical drills, reflex routines, rhythm training, and pure creative freestyle. Scene shifts and we see Bachira and Lavinho walking together. As they walk, Bachira calls out, voice steady, "I have my own visualization too." Lavinho glances at him. "I call it the monster." Lavinho raises an eyebrow, intrigued. "You've got a good route. That's your originality, huh?" Bachira nods, smiling faintly. "Yeah, but I'm going to overcome that monster to get stronger." He looks up at the sky. "So, what do I need to visualize if I want to evolve even more?" Lavinho stops walking, turning to face him directly. "Tell me this, has that monster of yours disappeared?" Bachira closes his eyes. "No, it's still here. If I picture it, I can still feel it." Lavinho stares at him proudly. "Then the answer is simple. Highlights. Make that monster evolve to its next stage." Bachira's eyes widen. Something inside him pulses, energy surging, imagination awakening. He hears Lavinho's voice echoing in his soul. "Make that monster evolve to its next stage. Your unique image is the guidepost that will lead you to become the world's best." Scene shifts back to present on the field. The tension returns to the field. Standing before Bachira is Ali, one of Bastard Munchen's strongest defenders. A classic one-on-one is about to begin. But Bachira? He's calm, confident, smiling. He gently rolls the ball beneath his feet, his movements fluid like water dancing across the surface. Then boom, he glides past Ali with almost no effort. The entire bench erupts. He dodged that German guy one-on-one. Even Isagi leans forward wide-eyed. Bachira's dribbling is working, but something's different. It's like he's moving with less wasted motion. Or, no, his acceleration has leveled up. It's stronger, sharper. Bachira continues dancing with the ball. His feet roll it with perfect control, subtly switching his axis between his left and right leg. His torso stays upright. The ball never strays. It's almost impossible to read his next move, Isagi thinks, awestruck. It's like his feet are ahead of the ball. On the sideline, Theo watches too, muttering in disbelief. What is with his dribbling? But Bachira isn't done. His eyes shine with joy. Energy flows through him like rhythm in music. He thinks, this is a fusion. Lavinho's Jenga-style ball handling and my own monster's tricks. I'll drag him into my world, into my visualization. I'll provoke him. The next defender steps in, tensed up. Bachira stands still for a split second, body swaying like he's caught in a breeze. Then, suddenly, he dashes forward and flicks the ball through the defender's legs with a cheeky nutmeg. He sprints past. "This," he says with a wild grin, "is the new me, Meguru Bachira's style, Jenga times monster." He zips through another defender, body light, fluid, unpredictable. He's dancing like a butterfly. From the bench, Lavinho leans forward, arms crossed, eyes glowing. He watches as Bachira dances across the field, weaving through defenders like a butterfly gliding through chaos. A proud grin spreads across his face. "That's it, highlights," he thinks. "Let the world see the rhythm that's yours alone." Isagi is practically on the edge of his seat. His eyes are locked on Bachira, a rush of adrenaline flooding through him. He's surpassed my imagination. Again, "Bachira, you've evolved into something even more insane than I expected." But just as the excitement builds, it happens. The rhythm changes. Bachira now faces a new wall, a different kind of monster, standing firm in front of him. Rensuke Kunigami, Bastard Munchen's wild hero. Muscles tense, expression unreadable. He's not just defending a goal, he's guarding a philosophy. The air turns heavy. The crowd leans in. The bench holds its breath. Bachira's expression doesn't falter. He smirks, bouncing the ball at his feet, completely unfazed. Then he looks up straight into Kunigami's eyes. "Let's do this. Wild hero." The episode ends here, but if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. Blue Lock Season 3 anime version isn't dropping anytime soon, but I'll be uploading new episodes if I get a good response. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I'd really appreciate that.